and a playoff bonus point will go to the stage winner. When the checkered flag flies, the race is over, and championship points will be awarded to all race vehicles. And to the winner goes the biggest prize, a spot in the playoffs, and 5 postseason bonus points that will be carried through the round of 8.
Okay, I have to apologize to people who will be listening on YouTube, which is nil, but I'm going to apologize anyways. I forgot to press the damn record button.
It's okay.
So-
That was strange.
Yeah, it makes no
That doesn't
sense.
sound like NASCAR. That sounds like something else.
I mean, so they decided that they're going to divvy out more points per race, and they're not even calling it the chase anymore. They're just calling it the playoffs. What are you thinking, people?
The playoffs of racing.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Have they ever considered that perhaps the simplest thing to do would be he who completes all the laps the fastest wins?
I mean, that's how it should be.
Oh, believable.
Whatever.
NASCAR, I've lost all respect for you. I've had some respect because I did appreciate that racing on ovals is very different, and the cars themselves are very strange because
Absolutely.
they're very powerful. They have little to no downforce, and the brakes are the size of bottle caps. That's exciting, and they still use H-pad shifters. But no, this silliness of breaking a race up into segments.
No, that's a little ridiculous. I do respect the sport in terms of the racing aspect, though. I think that's pretty cool. You know, making left turns.
Indeed, forever and ever, to symbolize the futility of the human existence.
I've still agreed. Me and my friends, we are one of these days. Once we're, of course, all like maybe further into school, we're gonna go to a NASCAR race. We're gonna get a mini pool. We're gonna get one of those little on the field things. We're gonna have it like a truck or something like that. And
Well, you don't even need to do that. I mean,
we're gonna get a bunch of beer in the truck
it's probably for me. I mean, strictly speaking, it's a day trip for me because I'm admittedly north of the Allentown area.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's a day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, I go there. It's $25 per person, and you go to a NASCAR race.
But I want to be on like the field thing, and I just want to.
Oh, you actually want to go into the pits?
Oh yeah. I want to be on like there's people with their RVs and all that stuff. I want to get a big old mini pool full of beer.
No, from what I've seen of the RVs at Pocono, they have the worst view. Actually.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but the point is to be as NASCAR oriented as possible, to just be in the middle.
I guess. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to go away from this weirdness that is NASCAR, if you're into that sort of thing, to the great wide world of Formula One, because the teams have finally released some images of the new cars for the year. Now, let us remind you, ladies and gentlemen, here is what we know about the new design rules. The cars are now going to be a full 200 millimeters longer, and there is now going to be a longer nose, but the edge of the wings will remain in the same place, which means they'll be more arrow-shaped. The rear wing is going to be lower, and the T-tray underneath is going to be shorter. So what they are hoping for is more downforce for tighter cornering grip, which means faster corners and presumably more
times.
racing. Exactly. So we begin with the first people to announce that car with Williams. So
It looks very similar.
well. Maybe.
Well, in colors and stuff. But
Well, of course, the colors are similar because it's the same Martini sponsor.
But it's a good looking car. I like the way that they have whatever's behind the front wheels. The way it's sort of it's a little bit different.
Well, yeah. Well, for one, the nose is longer, and it's actually a longer slope. I've noticed it's less of an incline. But unfortunately, it still has that silly little dong-looking nub at the front.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And of course, and like I said, it's very narrow, very futuristic looking. I mean, I think it's a smart looking car. I do believe so.
Absolutely.
Well, significantly better than what Caterham had the year before they went bust. Where is that there? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Caterham had a full-on schlong on the front of the vehicle.
Oh, that's funny looking.
All right. Next up, we have Sauber. They decided to go with blue, white, and gold. They do not have their sponsors yet, but I mean, now, unfortunately, the community on Jalopnik don't seem to like it much. But here's something I've noticed.
Why not? You say what
they think it's it. Well, the Jalopnik community seems to think it's hideous. But here's what I'm finding interesting. Williams are bringing back the shark fin on the back of the car. You have the top. You have the top intake nacelle, and then that slopes back. Well, now they have a big panel on it. This is very similar to what Sebastian Vettel had for his championship-winning car.
It's hard to see from this angle, but I see it.
Exactly. So this does maybe one of two things. One, it helps slow the car down if it's sliding sideways. And two, it has other key aerodynamic advantages. But the thing is, it really demonstrates how low the rear wing is. Now, that rear wing has been arrow-shaped. It's been widened. And then they also, for some reason, decided to have a splitter on the top air intake.
So that doesn't really cause any advantages, does
It might. Maybe it
Such
does.
as
Maybe you get some
directional flow of the air.
Yeah, exactly. You get some cap. So maybe it helps. Because I would have thought that this air intake would be a bit of a drag heavy spot.
Yeah.
So maybe they decided
That's
to
why they put it
split
there.
it to either to help alleviate the drag, or they decided to get really creative and they got some Bernoulli effects going on inside to do all kinds of mystical things. I have no idea what they're doing. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, they decided to take the Donald Trump approach of cover it in gold. The front wings has gold on the inner zones. The front ridge has a gold band. So like I said, they kind of.
I can see why people are judging it, but I like it.
Well, I think the best one so far
Let's see.
is Renault.
Oh,
So yes, Renault.
it's a Caterpillar.
Indeed. So Renault
the
last year.
equipment. I like this.
So anyways, Renault last year bought the Lotus team after they were going bust, and what they did was they basically took the car that was already in development, then they pasted their Renault yellow and black colors on it. But they have decided to go old school. So you have the Renault yellow and black, and they even have a Castrol sponsor on the front, and this is an entirely new car with built to the entirely new rules. Now they too have the top shark fin. So yes, you have the top air intake right behind the helmet, and then it remains level with this big flat panel. I think it's really smart looking.
I think it's just smooth looking in general.
Exactly, and that really does have that Caterpillar sponsor look to
It
it.
reminds me of like my childhood, just driving by all this construction equipment in our
Yeah.
town. It would be cool.
Oh, actually, no.
Let's see that. Wonderful.
The shark fin actually goes
raises.
up. It raises. So yes, it is now on the level of the camera boom that sits on top of the front air intake.
Very cool.
And that wing is low. Like, this is very, very fancy looking. But unfortunately, they kind of blew it with their racing overalls.
They look like construction workers.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, they've the overalls for the Renault team is you have a black top, and just remember, these are overalls. These are one pieces. It's a black top with a yellow military like epaulette on their shoulder, and then what would be their pants, but then again, this is one piece, is yellow, and then they have what looks like it looks like they've got basketball shoes.
And yeah, it does. I mean, it matches the car, but the first thing I think of when I see that one piece is fishing waders.
Yeah, fishing waders, exactly.
While wearing basketball shoes.
Yeah, fishing waders with basketball shoes is not a good look.
But thankfully, not too many people are paying too much attention to them. But still, they could have done better. It's okay. I'll give them credit for the car. The car looks amazing.
Yeah, well, that's the French for you.
Yep.
And then
Aesthetically pleasing.
Indeed. And now, finally, we have an unfortunate one. Force India. Well, first of all, we have a couple things that are interesting. There are two things in one of the promotional images, because here they actually held a press conference, well, so did Renault. But there are two things about this car which are making a return to Formula One. First, the platypus nose. Hang on, I think I need a platypus
I like platypi.
nose F1.
Is that the way to say it? Platypi, platypuses.
All right, so now during the before we've phased out the V8s, there was the infamous platypus nose. People didn't like it, but I kind of did. So basically, you had the front of the car, which was a flat panel, and then it sloped down and then flattened out again, so it looked like a platypus. Well, it turns out that Force India have decided to bring the platypus
Here,
back.
scroll down. Do they have another picture of the front end like that, or not really?
Not really. Not unless you go to the comps, which kind of spoils the next gag. Because also present, making its return in Formula One after an inordinate amount of time, in the middle is Vijay Mallya.
He's been gone for a while.
Yes, he's been on the lam.
The owner of the team.
The owner of the team has decided to show his face yet again after spending an entire year on the lam because he owes something ludicrous like a couple $100 million in back taxes to the Indian government. But yeah, he's decided to show his head up once again, and there is now they too have the shark fin thing. But okay, first of all, let's start at the front. It's not a good-looking car. First, you have the platypus slope, and then at the front you have what looks like the nose of that monkey. You know, there's that monkey with the like a circular nose.
I don't know what that is, but maybe a baboon or no,
it's not a baboon. Like, it's an Asian. It's some kind of a strange monkey that you see in Asia, and its nose is like a long, perfect proboscis almost.
Yeah, and that's what this looks
that.
like. It's just sticking out like a guy with a weird nose.
Exactly, and then of course it has these two tusks on the side for the structure, for additional structure. And then the shark fin is just a long, big board.
And it's the same color as the rest of the car, which I'm assuming will be covered in sponsors eventually.
I believe I believe what is happening is that they are waiting to find who will be willing to pay that so that VJ and who will actually be paying for VJ Malia's legal expenses. But
Well, it's a good space to put sponsors. However, that this big silver slab just on the back of the car almost looks like an advertisement board. On one of those trucks. I mean, I don't really like it. I mean, these other cars, they made it work well. They changed the colors up. They changed the color scheme. But they just.
Well, strictly speaking, the Sauber car is lacking sponsors. I mean, the only sponsor they have on that is a company called eDocs. They have
You think they're waiting on sponsors, or?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean they are sponsored by eDocs, Power, Seamus by Solana. I have no idea who they are.
Salami.
And then we have a 25 years, I believe, they're celebrating their 25th year in Formula One, so they'd have
good
that
for
there.
them.
And then of course they have just sponsorships for Switzerland in general, which is very ironic because motor racing is actually illegal in Switzerland.
That's funny.
It's tragic, is what it is. Yeah, so we think that big space on the back of the Force India might get filled up because at the moment they do have their sponsorships from Kingfisher, Quaker State, Telkel, and NEC, and Claro. You know, it might be interesting to actually look some of these sponsors up. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. I can't believe if I forgot it. I am wearing a special shirt this evening.
Let's see. What do we got here?
I'm unbuttoning my shirt from the Simeon Foundation. We should actually go to the Simeon Foundation one of these days. It's just a day trip to Philly.
Ooh.
Haas
shirt. Very
yes,
nice.
I am wearing a Haas shirt. I'm very
By
excited.
the way, how are they doing? Any word?
Not yet. They were late. They were late to the game last year, but we will see. But they will come. And now Red Bull have just posted a few videos. One of them is of Max Verstappen revealing his new helmet design.
So as we are doing the photo shooting here, of course, for the new merchandising and a bit of the car, then the drivers also, we always try to modify our, helmet designs a little bit. So I went for a little bit different this year. As you can see here already, the colors are a little bit different.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Max Verstappen has dropped the orange, his national orange, from his helmet. So he's got what looks like these two long red tiers coming out of the front, and that is where the Puma sponsorship is. Then he's got the Red Bull running up the side. He's got the obligatory Red Bull with the yellow dot. So it's a matte blue. So it's a fairly decent looking helmet, I think.
Relatively smooth.
Indeed.
How many USB ports?
And for some reason we just got an ad for Toyota Highlander. And then Daniel Ricciardo has decided to reveal his helmet. He's gone for white.
Pretty big.
So what he has is he's got the Red Bull sponsorship iconography on the side, but then on the front he's got like these white speed stripes coming out the front of his mouth. And then he's got a white cap on top. I think it's pretty neat. We'll be able to tell the difference between those two when they actually get racing. So that is what we have from the Formula One teams. We have yet to actually receive new news from them, and we will check again because the stuff's coming in fast. Anyways, now, ladies and gentlemen, I am quite pleased to tell you that apparently there will be a new documentary about the great Bruce McLaren, and we will be playing the audio for you here. Once it
loads.
If Bruce had come into the factory one morning and said, "Okay, men, we're not going to work on racing cars today. We're going to march across the Sahara Desert," we'd have all said, "Oh, okay, Bruce, no problem."
Motor race is not something you just suddenly learn out of the blue. You've got to have it inside, and Bruce certainly had all that.
The McLaren was the class of the field. I wanted to learn as much as I could because Bruce was an artist.
We dreamed about doing something on our own. We didn't know how long it would take, but we've done it. He was now the youngest driver ever to win a Grand Prix.
He did it the right way around. Put your money and your effort into your race team, and then when it's really winning, you can live off the high life.
He had the ability to think big.
Bruce was always one of us.
He worked along with us.
I was in good hands with Bruce.
What he started with the McLaren team was tremendous.
McLaren went from success to success.
Bruce was a superstar, a jet set person.
We were testing there, and he was climbing from one car into the other.
All of a sudden, it's just... and a silence.
I wanted the boys to carry on, and I wrote a letter to the team. The boys, as I always called them. My boys.
These guys were the Spitfire pilots of the 50s and 60s.
We all spoke his language, and we were all totally dedicated to him.
The legacy of Bruce McLaren lives on.
I feel that life is measured in achievement, not years alone. Bruce McLaren.
Very cool.
Oh, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're really into motor racing, it will make you shed a tear. Anyways, we're going to move right along. Now, apparently, this company called Ital Design has just made a conceptual design. I don't think it's going to be an actual car in production, but
I like
I think
that, though.
Well,
I don't know about the paint, but I like it.
Yeah, so so according to the article on Jalopnik by Rafael Orlov, the current Lamborghini Huracan is lovely and restrained design, but as I understand, as a 200-mile supercar. But a 200-mile supercar shouldn't be restrained, which is why I am excited to see the mad scoops and wings of Ital Design's new Lamborghini-based and oddly named custom car. So it is the Automobili Speciali, they call it. So so it's got lots of these aggressive fins. I'm not sure about the rear, though.
No, the rear's a little strange.
Well, I mean, when you actually take a look at the front detail of the nose...
I like the front a lot, though. I'm not sure about those racing stripes, but the front detail, I like everything about that. It makes me feel like I'm not just looking at just the average car.
Yeah.
I'm looking at like a car that was really made to make people happy.
Well, yes, indeed. Like, you've got these really... like, you have these octagonal headlights, and then, of course, you got these, presumably, these xenon lights at the front. You have this front wing, so it's like they tried to incorporate a Formula 1 wing into it. But I'm not sure about the main air intake. It's this long little slit. I'm not sure about that thing.
I think it looks like a little fish with the eyes.
Exactly. Well, yeah, there you go. It's a fish with eyes. Yeah. Okay, so I think we'll skip ahead there. Now, next up, some big news.
Oh yeah, this is cool. I saw this on TV.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Gizmodo, an article by Ray Paoletta. 7 Earth-sized exoplanets have everyone freaking out over alien life. Apparently, it would seem that who was it? Oh yeah, it was the TRAPPIST-1. Oh god, sorry, I'll start over. After a deluge of teasing press releases and premature speculation, we can finally share the very important NASA news. Today, the agency announced that a team of scientists has confirmed 7 Earth-sized planets orbiting TRAPPIST-1, a star located just 39 light-years away from our sun. These 6 inner planets are very likely to be rocky, or roughly the same mass as Earth, and are thought to have comparable surface temperatures to our own planet. 3 of the planets may even be able to support liquid water and perhaps life.
That's cool.
So, here's the question. What would happen if, what do we do? Like, sure, yes, we understand that we are not alone in the universe, but what comes next?
Check it out.
But what happens if we get there and it turns out what if it turns out they're just a primitive life species and we just imposed ourselves upon them as their gods?
That would be funny. We'd be interfering with an entire different just life of things. We'd come in doing the whole America thing and being like, hey, we're better than you.
And because we showed up in a vessel that shouldn't fly, we are.
Oh, yeah.
But what happens if we reach out and they decide, and they understand what it is that we've sent them? We send the satellite down, it lands, they see it, they understand that they've just been contacted by another civilization, and all they do is give us the finger.
Hey, whatever happens will happen. And I'll be honest, like, however we get in contact with whatever this is, if there's anybody there or anything, I feel like we'd be using completely different... Well, actually, no, it is possible that we'd be using frequencies because, that's what we use to communicate, you and me right now.
Yeah.
We're using, frequencies to broadcast this. So if there's some sort of form of communication that way, there's a chance. Otherwise, I feel like it could be just some primitive life. Well, we'll see, like some bacteria.
But if it turns out to be a more advanced race and we encounter them, and what if it turns out...
we get destroyed.
Exactly, because don't forget, the last time there was a clashing of civilizations, it did not work out well for the Aztecs. Let's just remember that.
Yes.
And now, here's another thing I'm really, really excited about, and then we will get on to some other various things. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been waiting for this for a whole year. The new Bretonnia DLC for Total War Warhammer has finally been announced. It will be available to us next week, and I will play the audio because that alone is so beautiful. So it begins with the usual sponsorships from Sega and the other... Sega. There we go. It begins in this lovely grove with some a ruined steeple and a lake. In the center is a small island with a tall statue of a lady bearing a golden chalice, and a knight resplendent in blue and yellow armor walks towards it with his cape flowing in the wind.
I give my body, heart, and soul to the lady whom I seek. No plea for help, shall find me wanting. No obstacle will stand before me.
The Grail glows, and standing before him, this penitent knight is a floating lady with a green laurel crown, the Lady of the Lake. And now we cut to Coruscant, with knights on Pegasuses and an army marching into the castle walls.
When the clarion call is sounded, I will ride out and fight.
And overlooking the walls is Leon Leoncoeur, the king of Bretonnia. And their castle is under siege by a horde of bat monsters and zombies.
That which is sublime, I will protect. That which threatens.
Our hero knight has been knocked to the ground by a giant fell beast.
For my holy wrath.
And he is rescued by the green ghost knight.
Is all. Chivalry is all. Rejoice, for we, the knights of Bretonnia, will be your shield.
So what type of game is this, first of all? Is this one of those Total War games where you're just playing against each other on the ground?
It's two things. What you do is you have you have a big turn-based campaign map in lieu of Civilizations, where you build up your settlements, train your soldiers, research technology, and expand your territory. But then, now unlike Civilizations, where you click and have them attack, it just plays out on random number generators, right? Instead, it will switch to a real-time battle. You will go in and you will command.
You'll be there. Oh,
you will command these troops. You will command an army, usually numbering in the 1,000 or so, against another army in the 1,000 range, and then you move them around, issue orders, and there you go. And now, the Bretonnians have been available in multiplayer and skirmish games in the Total War game, but they haven't had their own campaign, and their unit roster was lacking. Well, they've beefed it up, so you're going to have 4 different kinds of horse cavalry and at least 6 different types of infantry units.
Very cool.
And of course you have some new units, and it's going to be amazing. And there's at least an interesting campaign mechanic where you actually have to choose how you use your peasants. Do you have them on agriculture to make lots and lots of moolah, or do you you devote them into your army to act as men-at-arms? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be great. Next week, we will have it.
Very cool.
Okay, it's now 6:25. We still have ways to fill the topic. Now, last week, we were talking about The Expanse.
Yes.
I was talking about how awesome it was. Well, I'm finally caught up, so we still have a half season left. And I gotta say, we just had the single most amazing space battle ever put to screen. I kid you not. It is truly that magnificent. So, we are going to play the audio from it.
Very cool.
And we will describe what we see. And then, of course, because after all, it's really more like a running commentary. So with no risk of spoilers, all you need to know is that our heroes have using a liberated Martian frigate and are assaulting an unregistered spin station, which is protected by a stealth ship. And they are also having a big freighter, which will be sending boarding crews onto the illegal spin ship. So it begins with...
so it's a spin ship because it's spinning?
Spin station, yeah. No. Haha. So the frigate is currently just drifting and tumbling like a piece of debris. Nobody knows what it is. They have the element of surprise. And we have just turned the ship on. It is regaining stability, and now he's going to do a suicide burn at the last possible minute to arrest their velocity as they approach the enemy station.
Where's that stealth ship? It's supposed to be here.
And the stealth ship comes out from under the station, and they are about to get close. They're going to come in close proximity, and they're going to unload all of their miniguns on each other. But things are going to get amazing inside for the crew of our heroes, the Rocinante. First, the stealth ship has sent out missiles flying. And the Rocinante has lots of miniguns on it, and it's going to attempt to shoot out the missiles, and it succeeds.
That's very cool. So imagine anybody that's like listening to this.
And now here we go. The stealth ship is now firing back, and the cockpit is filling with debris. You can see the crossfire as the bullets come through the cockpit.
Jeez.
And of course they vented the atmosphere, and they just did a maneuver, and the molten metal filings in the air just fall to the ground. And it turns out that there is a control problem. They have to take cover, so they're going to hide right inside the space station. Because after all, a space station is a big orbital ring, essentially. That's how it's creating its gravity. So they are going to try to attempt to arrest their velocity because they are trying to arrest their speed. They have to try to regain control of this thing, and they have done so. And now that they've stopped moving, they have 0 G. And our heroes have a problem. Apparently, one of the thrusters is out on the Roxanante.
Imagine this like an undersea, like almost like a submarine battle, because that's the way the physics are.
Exactly, and one man with his magnetic boots, is stepping out of his seat, and he's going to fix it. But they say, no, you can't do this. One high G maneuver, and you are dead, because he has to repair it.
Of course he's going to do it.
And now we are on the other ship, who is going to be deploying their boarding crews using jury-rigged ships made from FedEx containers.
Oh man, that's funny looking.
So these are our rebels. They are assaulting the spin station. They are the boarding crews. And so you have 2 containers which have been converted into boarding boats. And they are trying to get in. And now we are with our heroes as Amos is trying to repair the damaged thruster line. And he is in the bowels of the ship, floating. He's just floating around in the inner bowels of the ship. And he sees that one pipe has been completely sheared open. And he has to repair it if they want to restore their maneuvering. But it turns out that
it's a dumb gun for breaking stray rocks that can't hurt us.
No, but it'll kill the hell out of those breaching pods.
Shit, Alex.
And it turns out that the station has a gun on it, which is used for shooting asteroids, but it could very well kill the boarders. And so they have to do a high G maneuver. They swoop out from underneath the station, and our poor man Amos is getting knocked around inside the inner workings of the ship. He has no control. His magnetic boots have finally clamped down, but his top of his body is still getting flung around. And now our hero is Amos is attempting to get himself back to the line, and the gun on the station is getting lined up. And now, the repairs on the line involves a big sheet of carbon fiber.
So who are those landing crews?
They are rebel fighters belonging to our heroes on the Roxanante. They are providing support.
I see.
And now, what's happening? Ah, yes. And now our heroes have repaired the line using an electrical arc to shrink the carbon fiber on the line. And it is a very tense scene for everybody inside the boarding pods. The gun on their station ring fires, the round flies, and vaporizes one of our heroes' boarding pods. And this is very tragic. The stakes are up. If they lose another one, they'll have all this mission will be for naught. And now they're about to do another high G maneuver, and Amos braces himself. He hangs on, he secures himself as they're getting ready, and now things are going to get absolutely beautiful. The Roxanante starts maneuvering with using its RCS thrusters, and it's going to bend under the ring, but our hero is getting thrown around inside, and of course it is a great strain on everybody. It's like the worst roller coaster ride from hell. And the enemy gun is about to line up and vaporize the other pod, but then the Roxanante is going to swoop up over the ring, and it's going to come down and unload its miniguns onto the cannon, vaporizing it, and then it is lined up and ambushed the enemy stealth ship, and it is just shredding it. I mean, like I said, this is
awesome.
It's the single.
This is definitely a sci-fi thriller to watch.
Exactly.
Cool.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are subscribed to Amazon Prime, you can watch the first season for free. And if you are subscribed to some kind of on-demand service at home, you can watch on Sci-Fi. In fact, I have learned
Should tell my dad to watch this.
I have learned that Sci-Fi on demand, using your cable box, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Is the single best way to watch the show, actually. Because, first of all, it is a higher resolution than recording it from TV. And
Is it really?
And here's the best part. The commercial breaks, there's only one commercial per break.
So on demand as in from the cable company?
Yeah.
Or from the computer?
On demand from the cable company. Now, I'm not sure how well it works on the internet, but
yeah, I'm not worried about that.
I kid you not. It is using the on demand from the cable company is the single best image quality I've ever seen.
So it's broadcasting higher than 720, you think?
Absolutely.
Very nice.
I mean,
because the normal typical broadcast is only 720p.
Yeah, but these are higher than that. I'm pretty sure of it.
That's beautiful. I'm proud of cable companies for doing at least that.
I know.
It's the least they can do for us.
Indeed. I mean,
I remember back when On Demand used to be the, no commercials. Well, what about that now, huh?
Well, I mean, like I said, the Sci-Fi On Demand, only one commercial per break, and it's usually
Very
for
nice.
it's usually for the channel itself or another sci-fi show.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's magnificent. It truly is amazing.
I'm telling my dad to watch this.
Exactly. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, the first season of The Expanse is available for free if you are subscribed to Amazon Prime. The second season, well, I believe the episodes have some expiration dates. I think the first episodes of season 2 will be start disappearing next week, I believe. So, ladies and gentlemen, The Expanse is absolutely awesome. It really is magnificent, this program. So, that is all of the topics I had pre-selected.
Yes.
Well, actually, I should probably get... Oh, actually, we should check Jalopnik, see what else is new. Actually, turns out that they have a section of all the weird vehicles for sale on eBay right now. So we're going to begin with the first vehicle for sale on eBay, a 2006 Ford F650 party bus. So they took a Ford F650, which is actually really more like a dump truck chassis. Like, this thing is huge.
Yeah, it's mostly meant for applications like that.
And what they've decided to do is they took the truck bed off, and then they put a huge stretch in between.
Jeez.
So this thing is the size of a Bieber tour bus.
I'd say so.
In length, at least. And, I mean, what the...
I'd drive that.
I guess so, but it's not actually telling us how much it's going for sale for. Next is a 1996 Suzuki X90.
I've never seen one of these on the road. They are so cute, though.
It's neither... Yeah, according to Jalopnik, it is neither sport nor utility. I mean... I really don't get what it is.
For those of you who don't know, this is a little two-seater, like compact, little, almost truck-looking.
It's almost truck-looking, but there's no truck bed.
It's the X. What is it? Suzuki X90. And look this up. This is a weird-looking little car. I think it's meant to be like a budget, cool look. The cool factor was definitely a thing at the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's the size of a Mazda. It's maybe the size of a Mazda Miata, but you're in a higher seating position.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it should have a truck bed, but it hasn't got one. I mean, this is a strange thing.
So I think it was meant to compete with the Miata.
Wait.
Oh. My arm hit that button.
And our kettle is boiling again.
Once again.
Yeah. Next up, we have a 2002 Lincoln Blackwood.
Those are weird-looking cars.
It is a pickup with carpeting in the truck bed.
So imagine basically an Escalade with the very last row cut off, and then it's a truck bed.
And it's made by Lincoln.
Yes. Oh, wait, no, that's Cadillac. You're right. My bad.
Exactly.
Oh, Navigator. Imagine a Navigator, but the very last row cut off.
Yeah, no, the Cadillac Escalade would be the correct thing. Well, the Lincoln Navigator is an SUV, right?
Yeah, so it's basically, it would be the same thing, just cut off. Yeah, actually, I've seen one of these in the dueling parking lot last year. I'm not sure if it's here this year, but...
All right, next up is the 1989 Chrysler TC by Maserati.
Oh, I've seen these on Craigslist.
Why?
There's not much special about them. It's just a Chrysler.
Exactly.
With the Maserati logo slapped on it.
Yeah. All right, next up we have the 2007 Mercedes-Benz R63 AMG. Now, is this a minivan?
So it's sort of in the crossover category. I think it's in between a wagon and a small SUV. Well, I think they're beautiful.
Well, Jalopnik is comparing it to a Dodge Caravan, so I think that might be a correct assumption. Like, it's a... I really don't get this thing. All right, next is... Oh, I actually like this. The 2011 Honda CR-Z.
I do like that car. I actually... what's it called? I've seen one of these.
Yeah.
In person, and I was really confused.
I've seen a few of these actually. I mean, it's not a bad looking thing. I mean, it's pretty good. I think it's good for if you live in a small place like New York. And okay, now we get into the weird customs.
Of course.
The 2003 Hummer H2 custom SEMA build.
So I'd say this is just one giant, ridiculous looking refrigerator on 25-inch wheels.
It's white, 25-inch wheels, and a huge lift kit with 4 pistons per wheel. Now, okay. It's like an RC car. You know, like
it looks stupider than an RC car.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know how like you'd have a Hummer RC car which is higher than it's meant to be.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like. And the rims are idiotic. I mean, this is
that's somebody thinks it's cool for some reason.
The 2016 BMW X6.
I would have to see the back of the car to judge it.
It's awful.
It's awful.
Jeremy Clarkson did a review on this thing, and he basically says, you know, yes, it's this big vehicle. It's not that fast. You cannot even see anything out the rear window because the rear window is tiny. This is a vehicle that makes no design sense. It's not BMW's brightest thing. Oh look, we were just mentioning it. One of the other things available on eBay is a 2007 Cadillac Escalade EXT. It's a Cadillac Escalade as a pickup. Well, basically, all they really did was they took a Chevy Avalanche and put.
I was gonna say that looks just like an Avalanche.
It is an Avalanche. And then
I don't think the Avalanche is a particularly good-looking truck to begin with. It looks okay.
No, I remember the ads when the ads were first going for it. They boasted it as being the first SUV that you can convert to a pickup. The thing is, I have never, ever seen an Avalanche in the SUV configuration.
Never.
You know what? I'm going to have to try to find it.
Yeah, my uncle has a Avalanche, and it looks all right. I mean, it does what it needs to do. You know, it's a
Avalanche
truck.
SUV mode. I guess I'm going to see how that works.
And he has a little 90s F-150 for his work truck needs.
That's not telling us anything. Let's see if Wikipedia actually has that picture. Because, I mean, like I said, I remember that was how it was first advertised. The first SUV that could be converted into a pickup, but I've never, ever, ever seen it in its SUV mode. And I'm struggling to find pictures now.
I don't think they have an SUV of it.
It was, yeah, I mean, like I said, this was a long time ago when the Chevy Avalanche first dropped, and I was probably only in kindergarten in Colorado at the time. Yeah, Chevy ads had a great impression on me, probably because they kept banging on about those things on Colorado TV. And the final weird thing that you can get available on eBay is a 2015 Jeep Wrangler Custom SEMA build.
Yeah.
I'm
surprised these are SEMA builds.
It's the long model. Cheesy. Yeah, it's the 4-door Wrangler.
The Unlimited.
That's been lifted.
JKU.
And plated gold. Why are they doing this to us? Anyway, so those are the crazy things you can get on eBay.
Also returning to the United States will be the Ford Ranger pretty soon.
Oh, about bloody time. No, Luke is obsessed with them.
I like them. I think they're the perfect in between a car and a truck.
It's basic. No, here's the thing. The American market is stupid for pickups. I will say this right now because first of all, you can only get the small compact pickups like your Tacomas, your Chevy
S10.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they make now, but it used to be the S10.
Yeah, exactly.
Dodge Dakota.
Yeah, exactly. You had your small class pickups like your Chevy Tacoma and your Nissan.
I know what you're talking about. Frontier.
Yeah, Nissan Frontier. And then the Europeans actually get the in-between thing. I should actually go back. And then in America, we go from those tiny things to the ludicrously oversized things, like your Nissan Tundras.
There's no good middle-sized ones.
Exactly. And they're all in Europe. Europe, they get the they get the Toyota Hilux and the Ford Ranger.
I like the Hilux a lot.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, they get the Ford Ranger, they get all of the other ones, and we're finally starting to get them back.
Well, I think the thing is the market's not huge for them here because people that really want an in-between of a truck and a car just end up going for a crossover or something like that.
Or maybe it's because those vehicles are never available in the first place.
But they were available for a while. They stopped selling the Ranger in 2008, 2009?
It was a stupid move, and I believe that's probably what... Wait. Oh!
What do we see here?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mercedes have just dropped their new car.
Let's see it.
All right, so first of all, let me just quickly go through, make sure nothing else. Apparently, that a giant inflatable gorilla is still missing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here they are. The arch enemy has revealed itself.
Let's see.
They have a pretty nose, apparently.
It looks good to me.
They're going for a techno show here. Oh, come on, give us a full line of the...
I don't think they're going to give you anything.
Wait a minute. Okay, Formula One cars have several nose jobs over the years. Some must spin more than others. It's a teaser. Mercedes have dropped us a teaser.
Oh, well.
So they're not actually showing us what the car looks like.
So have you seen that new Dodge? I can't remember what it's called. I saw it on the Super Bowl commercial.
A new Dodge, you say?
Yeah, what is it? It's a new Dodge. I can't find anything when I search new Dodge. That's surprising.
Well, it's a very, very stupid... It's not exactly an explicit search term.
No, it's not. Super Bowl Dodge. Bowl... Dodge commercial.
Okay, so as he's searching, let's see. He is searching.
Was it 2017? Yeah, it was 2017.
Fiat. Oh, adds 3 ads during the Super Bowl.
It's like Dodge Devil or something like that.
Well, okay. We will try that.
I don't know if it was
Dodge Devil. Let's see if that's such a... No, not development. Devil, yeah.
What? Devil's in the details. Oh, Demon.
Oh, the Dodge Demon.
Well, let's see.
Demon. Let's see.
So I can't even find any pictures of... Oh, yeah, okay, I see some. and it's not going to feature the Hellcat engine, which I believe they're attempting to discontinue.
Okay. Well, actually, we should probably put PC on and take PC off so we can actually see what this thing looks like.
Let's see.
So we are getting a video because apparently they're really overblowing their
website.
Yeah, exactly.
For this
vehicles, go to vehicles.
It's coming up.
Domestic, not domesticated.
Oh, it's coming out in 13 hours.
Oh, interesting.
That's cool. But also, it is not using the Hellcat engine, so I believe they're veering away from the Hemi route.
Yeah, I mean.
Do you have that off? The PC off?
Yes, the PC's off. So let's just see if we. Well, so apparently they decided to have lots of flashing, a high-speed camera of the wheels buckling. Oh, for heaven's sakes, they're not even going to show us.
They're not going to show it. But this is, I don't know. I hope it's cool.
Yeah, so do I.
Body.
Yeah, apparently everything's blocked off. They're not actually going to show us anything.
They're being very specific. They're just showing us pictures of tires.
This is a tease. This is such a tease.
Well, that's what they're attempting to do. That looks like a Challenger.
Yeah, from the rear at least. It does look...
Well, maybe it'll be a nice in-between between the Challenger and the Charger.
We'll hit the scroll more button, see what it does.
Scroll more. So that looks like a Challenger.
It's a Challenger rear for sure.
It's not giving anything else. But this is going to be Dodge's new performance car, of course. Yeah, those are both Challengers. Whatever.
Unless it's... Oh, well, that's going to be a bit of a shame if it turns out that it's just a souped up Challenger.
I mean, I haven't really heard anybody talk about it. I mean, I haven't even heard of this.
Wait. What is that picture in the far left? I know that's an older car, but there is a... That is... Oh!
That can't be it. Well, that looks like an older design.
Yeah, that's a concept.
Oh, that might be the concept of this car. So but if it's a two-seater, that'd be a little disappointing.
Well, if they're going for a sports car, I would be very happy because we need more sports cars. They're actually very fuel efficient these days.
Yes, they are.
Indeed. Okay, so what else are we missing? Oh, it turns... Oh, last week we were discussing the new Canon M5.
Yes.
Canon just announced the new M6.
Oh, jeez.
But now, of course, they're going in reverse. You know, it used to be like for the M range, it was the bigger the number, the more superior it is. Well, they've just reversed it. So now the M6 is actually a smaller thing. It has no eyepiece on it. Well, actually, there's an external piece you can buy separately for your viewfinder. But they really aimed it as a lens, as a camera for amateur bloggers.
So actually, that's really actually a popular thing right now because I watch YouTubers and they'll be walking around with these full DSLRs, that have video abilities.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I used for the for my finance and distribution project. Okay, so here we have the Canon M6. Go away!
I hate it when it asks if you want notifications from the website. Of course I don't.
So like I said, what they've done, it's really a small compact mirrorless camera. I'm not sure if the screen's manipulatable, but for a bit actually you can buy the viewfinder to stick on top.
Okay.
It's not the smartest thing, but I still think the best way to go would be the M5. It's it's $1,000 for it, but I think it's expensive. Yeah. Indeed.
Also, I think I just realized that this is only a new trim available for the Challenger, which is why it looks like a Challenger.
Oh, I see.
It's replacing the Hellcat, so I think it's going to be like a non what's that name of their Hemi engine? They're non-Hellcat. Yeah. They're non-Hellcat engine.
Well, it's 6:45. I guess we can wrap it up for the evening.
Alrighty, Kate.
And next week we'll see what you have, and maybe we'll have the worms game between Dylan and here.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, as soon as I can get a decent day in which I can train him up on how to play the game basic. Alright, so we will now leave you at the mercy of the Radio DJ software. So, ta-ta.
Enjoy the sales. Good night.